everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, October 23rd, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable, seroundtable.com. Try not going to move too much. I think last time I was tapping the mic and it was causing audio problems. I really don't want to do this video again, so I'm going to give it a try, and if it works, hopefully great. If not, then I'll just switch to just using the iPhone without this little microphone. First up, as you can see, I reported about the Google Zombie update. There were a few of them. I'm thinking between the 14th and the 15th, there was an additional Panda push, maybe an insurgence of Panda crawls that actually went ahead and resulted in more pages coming out of the Panda update from the Panda 4. I don't even know what we're up to anymore. But basically, I think there was a lift in terms of sites that were impacted, that benefited from the latest Panda release back in October. No, back in, I don't know, a few months ago, whenever that was. And then we saw some shifts around then. I think this one, at least the 14th and the 15th, was related to Panda. Now, if I keep going, and stuff I reported about yesterday around what we're calling the zombie update, because Halloween's in a week or so, it seems like there was some type of other update around the 20th, 21st or so. You can see not only are the forums spiking, but you can see a lot of the search result, automated search tools are actually going ahead and showing some significant spikes. So here's SERPs.com showing a spike on the 19th. Here is SERPmetrics, again, 19th, 20th, and 21st. Alguru on the 21st. Advanced Web Ranking on the 20th. You have AccuRanker, which is a new one, on the 20th and 21st. Rank Ranger, 20th, and so forth. And Mozcast, which only showed a spike on the 17th, which was unusual. All these tools are actually trying different things, but you see there's a lot of conversation in the webmaster community around this, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was some type of update around that. Now, I've been asking Google for a comment for a long time. Google has not responded with any comment about these updates or lack thereof. But Gary from Google already said on Twitter, we don't confirm updates to our core algorithms. We make hundreds of these changes to it. This could have been one of those. So maybe what we saw, at least on the 20th, 21st, and 22nd, was a core ranking update, which Google won't admit. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't know if they won't confirm anything around that. All I'm doing is reporting what webmasters are seeing, what I'm seeing in the data, and so forth. So if you do notice ranking changes, you're not alone. There's definitely a lot of people out there with that. Yahoo and Google have a new agreement that is subject to approval by the U.S. Department of Justice or whoever makes those approvals. Specifically, Yahoo said now they are able to, in terms of what they're made a deal with Google, to show Google organic ads as organic search results as well as their search ads. Now they have a deal with Microsoft that they have to fill 51% of their search results with Bing ads on the desktop. On the mobile, it's free reign, but what do they do with the other 49%? They can use Google, they can use whoever they want. So there's a lot of conversation around that as well, and that's definitely. They're not going to do anything. They said they've been testing it, but they're not going to actually officially do anything until the government approves that relationship, and we'll see if they do or not. I doubt they will in the EU, but maybe in the US they will. Now, not to be confused with the Google Zombie update, where there are webmasters who are seeing zombie traffic from Google. Since the beginning of October, a lot of webmasters are noticing their Google organic results in their analytics is showing a weird conversion pattern. They're seeing people hang out on their websites, not do anything, kind of like zombies, and not convert. And some days they're doing great, and some days they're doing horrible. The question is why? So this is starting since the beginning of October. It's still going on to this day, and they're saying some days the conversions from Google are outstanding, and some days they're just horrible, like zombies are on their website, and they can't figure out what the pattern is. Why on some days from the exact same queries from Google organic results are they having normal, let's say 10% conversions? This was pretty good. And on some days they're getting 2% conversions, or 1% conversions, or 0% conversions from Google Organic. What is changing? And that's what webmasters are asking themselves. And of course, I had a great opportunity to make this cute little graphic. There was an interesting theory that the reason Google Panda release is so slow is because they're going ahead and assigning the Panda score for the site on a page-by-page basis based on the recrawl pace. So Panda 4.2, which rolled out a couple months ago, is one of the slowest rollouts, actually I think in July or June, is one of the slowest rollouts we've ever seen for a Panda release. And Google says it's slow because of technical reasons. So one webmaster said, I think Panda is moving at the pace of a recall rate, which is understandable, meaning the pages are not being released from the Panda update if they are released. Now, obviously, there's some sites that were hit by Panda 4.1 and at 4.2 they still are hit by Panda and they're not going to see a release. But those sites that were hit by a release are not noticing that release until until Google recrawls that page and then assigns, I guess, a new Panda score to that page. And I think that makes a lot of sense. Of course, people are arguing with me. There's like 30 plus comments there. It's not my theory, it's this webmaster theory, and I think it's a pretty good theory. Gary from Google said, the Penguin update is not ready for prime time yet. He said on Twitter, when people were asking what's going on with Penguin, he said Penguin is not ready for prime time yet, which is upsetting because I really thought that Google would release the Penguin update by the end of this month. It's been technically, I think, 1 year and 6 or 7 days since the official Penguin release back, Penguin 3.0, back in October of last year. So we're kind of due an update. Google announced their earnings last night, and in that earnings call, the new CEO basically said, and I'll quote, 40% of searches now return app indexing or indexed results in the top 5 results. That's a pretty big number. App indexing. Apps are coming up on people's search results, I assume only on mobile because that's where they show up. 40% of the time, those apps are showing up, and 40% of the time, they're in top 5 results. That's pretty significant. It's another reason why you should probably look into doing app indexing for your website. Facebook announced the big news yesterday around search. They basically said they're expanding their Facebook search, not just to be around friends and families, but also to search any public-related posts. There's a bunch of different changes. There are better search suggestions. Now they obviously can search public posts and posts from friends, and also find public conversations with search. So they really expanded it. You can test it out at search.fb.com. Of course, with that, anything that's public-related, SEOs are probably going to want to take notice and start seeing how they can optimize for that. Google said if the fetch as Google is giving you a partial notice, it can be ignored if you look at that and you notice that Google's really indexing your whole entire website. So again, if you have a partial notice which looks like that, you could definitely go ahead and ignore that. Google said if you see that Google's crawling or indexing the whole page with the fetch as Google, fetch and render as Google. Google said you do not have to set your preferred domain when you have your redirects in place. There's no need for it, he said. I do both. I assume most SEOs do both. It seems like Google Maps is having some more spam issues. It seems like a Google Map hack where you can actually use alternative names is taking irrelevant names as well and letting it rank. So Linda shared in local search forums examples of this. You should definitely take a look at this, not necessarily so you could spam Google, but more so you could actually look at your competitors, see if they're using this technique, and maybe address it one way or the other. Supposedly the Better Business Bureau, it looks like the Better Business Bureau has started to follow some or all of their links to their business profiles. And in this thread, there's like 100 comments or so about, should you get a Better Business listing now or should you not? Is it irrelevant and so forth? That's something that I won't comment on, but basically they follow their links. You can actually preview the Google Search app, the beta features, before it's released. So Google came out with a beta channel just for the Google Search app on Android. You can actually access it yourself, and you can actually go ahead and test, preview new Google features. Join the app beta program to play with experimental features before they are released. So that's a cool thing that's coming up, and you can actually go ahead and test it on Android. Local SEOs are saying it's harder than ever to actually find duplicate listings, and one of the part of local SEOs is to make sure that you consolidate your listing into one listing and not have duplicate listings, because duplicate listings could cause ranking issues. And with the removal of the Map Maker phone search feature, it makes it much harder to actually find duplicate listings. Google is showing sports scores in the US and Canada in the wrong order. In the US and Canada, sports scores should show the home team second and the guest team first. It's not showing that in the US. it's showing the opposite order, which is incorrect, which is funny, I guess. Google has dropped OK Google voice command or hot word search on the Google Chrome desktop version for Mac, Linux, and Windows. So you can no longer say OK Google to activate Google search on your desktop Chrome. Google said people were not using it. Yelp, funny thing, you got to check this out when you have time. South Park released a funny bit on Yelp and how Yelpers and reviewers get preferential treatment, and they use that and they abuse that and they think they're special. And then NBC's hoax site went ahead and pretended that Yelp sued South Park for that, which is funny because it's something that Yelp might do, maybe. I'm not going to get into the politics. So Google's top contributor summit was this week. They hold it every 2 years. I think they had over 500 people at this top contributor summit. It's basically top contributors are those who go into the Google search forums, help other users who are using Google products for free. They volunteer their time, and as they volunteer enough and Google likes them, they will go ahead and label them a top contributor, give them a special badge, give them some preferential treatment, and also invite them every 2 years to Google headquarters for a summit. So it kicked off this week. It was 3 or 4 days. It ended yesterday, last night. There was over 500 people there, so pretty cool. Dwayne Forrester from Bing announced pretty big news that he's firing Bing. So he started working at MSN back as an SEO 8 years ago, I believe, and then in October of this, then he's migrated to the Bing Webmaster Tools team to run that as Webmaster Outreach. Many equated him to the Matt Cutts of Google, and in October, Microsoft had major layoffs. They actually laid him off. Then a month or two later, they realized they need him, so they brought him back. And now, 6-7 months after that, Bing has decided he wanted to do other things, and he's leaving Bing as of November 13th. Who's going to replace him? It's unknown, but he has plans. Probably looks like to go ahead and do his own small business. Maybe start his own digital marketing agency, like a lot of former Google search quality people have done. Finally, XMX Israel again is actually a week from this Sunday. I'm going to be in Israel this week, and then through Monday morning of next week. So if you haven't signed up yet, please sign up. I'm printing the badges in a couple hours. And we have a special morning keynote from Google's Juan Felipe. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I better practice that before our keynote. And basically, works with the manual actions teams at Google, and I'm going to have a very cool Q&A, question and answer session for about 30 minutes asking him a ton of questions about how that works and so forth. So it's going to go into that in pretty detail. Plus, we have a lot of cool keynotes and discussions going on at XMX Israel, again, a week from this Sunday, November 1st. Anyway, thanks so much for listening to the Search Buzz video recap. I hope this microphone worked well because this is a pretty long recap, and everyone have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next. Bye.